Time once again to look at the latest animated DC movie, Teen Titans: The Judas Contract. Blah blah blah, Teen Titans Go sucks, moving on. So I'm going to put up my usual disclaimer. I don't think I've ever read a Teen Titans comic. I'm a little bit familiar with them, but most of what I know about the Titans came from the TV show, you know, the good one. So because of that, I will mostly be judging this for what it is. So the plot of the movie is the Teen Titans are doing their usual stuff, you know, being roommates and trying to get along with each other while fighting crime. Meanwhile, Brother Blood has hired Deathstroke to try and capture them for some weird experiment that he's got going on. But it seems there's a traitor among the Teen Titans that's helping Deathstroke. Ooh, mysterious. So we got some new faces among the Titans. At the beginning of the movie, they have a cold opening that flashes back to when they met Starfire. And among the team then was Bumblebee and Kid Flash, who for some reason are no longer on the team, and they didn't really explain why. But on the current main team, they introduced Terra, who is a much different character than in the TV show. And again, I'm not familiar with the Teen Titans comics, so all of this is pretty new to me. One thing they did touch on in the movie was her backstory, which was noticeably absent from the TV show. And after seeing her backstory, I kind of understand why they left that out of the TV show. Damn. So the first half of this movie is pretty casual. They mostly focus on the characters of the Titans, you know, what they've been doing since the last movie, where they are right now. They established that Starfire and Nightwing have gotten together, which I find interesting because they did have a past together, but I seem to recall in one of the previous movies, Nightwing mentioned that he had a girlfriend. So I guess she's out of the picture right now. Either that or he just couldn't resist Starfire, because you know what they say, once you go orange, you... Nothing rhymes with orange. They also showed that Blue Beetle was having trouble controlling the scarab that's on his back. It has trouble being around other humans, and because of that, it's kept him distant from his family. So at one point, he decides to volunteer at a soup kitchen to try and get the scarab to be a little more comfortable around groups of people. So he had a very small story arc, but I really liked where they went with it. Then, of course, there's Damian and Raven, who's been together since Justice League vs. Teen Titans, and they kind of didn't focus on them a whole lot. There was like two scenes they had together, one in the middle of the movie where it seemed like they were having some kind of argument, but I suppose it was resolved afterwards because they did have another quick scene at the very end of the movie. I've heard a lot of people didn't really like them together. Specifically, people seem to have a problem with Damian, and yeah, I can definitely see where they're coming from, so I guess they made the decision to give him less focus. Then, of course, there's Beast Boy and Terra, you know, doing their usual thing. Beast Boy's being kind of a goofball, and this version of Terra is just kind of having none of it. A lot of relationship stuff in this movie. I suppose if that's your thing, then you'll definitely get some enjoyment out of it. They definitely established a lot of things in this movie, and I can only assume they're trying to lay out a foundation for future Teen Titans movies, and I'm definitely all for that. Oh, also there is an after credits sequence, and they introduce a character that they just kind of touched on in the TV show, but is a big deal in the comics, so fans of the comics will definitely like that. The second half is where things pick up quite a bit, because there's a lot more action, and of course they reveal who the traitor is. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you've read the comic, and heck, if you've seen the TV show, you should know who the traitor is. In fact, in this movie, it does become pretty obvious. One of the things that wasn't so great about this movie was Brother Blood. He just seemed very one note and cliched. I actually really liked Brother Blood from the TV show because he was just an evil, conniving mastermind. He had some personality, whereas Brother Blood in the movie was just kind of, I have a machine that's gonna do a thing, and that's about it. I don't know how he is in the comic, but I definitely prefer how he was in the TV show. Okay, elephant in the room. So, while I've never read any Teen Titans comics, I do know little bits and pieces about them. And there is one thing from the comic that they showed in this movie, and it is something that's very icky, let's just say, and it was kind of uncomfortable to watch. I will say no more about it. But aside from that, this movie was really good. And of all the DC movies that I've watched ever since the reboot after Flashpoint Paradox, this one probably has the biggest and most emotionally draining ending of any of them I've seen. And just the ending alone made the whole thing worth it. And you know what? The team working on the DC animated movies has really upped their game. It seemed like the animation in this movie was better than all the other ones. There was a lot more movement, a lot more emotion. The action sequences were really fluid and fast-paced. Man, these movies just keep getting better and better. And it's kind of a shame that they're not very well promoted, and usually not long after they've come out, they kind of get forgotten about. You know, a lot of people are very upset with how DC's been represented on TV and on the big screen. You know what? Screw that. Track down these movies. These are great. But that's about all I got for Teen Titans The Judas Contract. Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of it. My name is Rob, and have a wonderful day. And support DC animated movies. When it's established that Brother Blood has hired Destro. I almost said Destro. Teen Titans meets G.I. Joe. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.